Welcome to Cory's Conscious Living.
Hi friends, just a quick message. If you are enjoying the content of this channel and you think you would like to take the time to support me, anything is appreciated, even $1 a month if you want to. Check out the link down below. Patreon. Thank you. Namaste and enjoy your meditation.
Are we ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're laying down and you're comfortable and warm and snug. Everything is just right in your room. The lights, your pillow. I want to tell you a story tonight about a very special elephant. Ellie was his name. Ellie was a young elephant in a herd of elephants. The herd of elephants consisted of 3 very close families and their offsprings. Altogether, there were over 15 baby elephants, and Ellie was one of them. This particular herd of elephants had a very special, magical job to do. They created shooting stars. Now I know you wouldn't think that elephants actually created shooting stars. You would think that elephants didn't do very much with the trunks except drink, pick up things, breathe, feed, all of those fantastic things. You wouldn't think creating shooting stars out of your trunk was one of the things that elephants did. But in this particular herd, it was a very magical, special, kind of dreamsicle herd of elephants. Then yes, one of the things that they learned when they were baby elephants were to blow out shooting stars and blow them up into the sky. Big, bright, magical shooting stars. Everyone in the herd, all of the baby elephants, all of the mothers and fathers and brothers and uncles and aunties and grandmas even, all could do this except Ellie. This drove Ellie nuts. He tried constantly. Was the sound that came out of his trunk every night when everyone got together and they started to create their magic. All Ellie ever got that flew out of his trunk was Now, Ellie's nickname in the herd was Ellie the Elepant. It wasn't Ellie the Elephant, it was Ellie the Elepant, because Ellie couldn't say his F's. He had a very hard time saying his F's. Just like people when they're learning to speak. Some people can't say F's, some people can't say R's until you can get your tongue around it and practice and practice and practice. Some children have a very hard time with certain words. I know when I was small, I couldn't say my R's. I would say W instead of R. So instead of it being a run or a rabbit, it was a one or a wabbit. One wabbit, one wabbit, one, one, one. And I remember being so frustrated not being able to say my R's. But I eventually learned. And eventually, Ellie will learn to say his F's. But right now, he said them like punts instead of funts. Maybe everyone thought that this was why he had a hard time blowing shooting stars out of his trunk. No matter what the reason was, it was Ellie, the elephant, that was having a hard time with it. Patience was not something that Ellie was very good at. When he couldn't get it right and all that ever happened was He would stomp his feet. He would sulk. Sometimes he would just get very angry and frustrated, not talk to anyone, not smile. He would get so angry inside, or mad at himself, or jealous and mad at everyone else that can do shooting stars and he can't. He had an array of different emotions. And all of those emotions were totally okay. It's okay to get frustrated if there's something that you can't do. But it's not okay to keep getting frustrated over and over and over again. That's not going to do anyone any good. Grandma Sophie, one of the oldest elephants in the herd, decided to have a little chat with Ellie. She wanted to share some wisdom. She had a lot of wisdom, as she'd been on the earth a very long time and learned from many different experiences. She'd learned and grown and got wiser and wiser, just like people do over time. Grandma Sophie said, "When you feel frustrated inside and you feel angry, that's okay. Blow it out of your trunk," she said. This made Ellie giggle. "Just blow it out of your trunk," she said. "Don't you keep hold of that anger and frustration, because if you keep it inside, guess what happens?" Ellie said, "What?" With big eyes looking up at her. "What, Grandma?" "It turns into everything that's not nice. Worms, puddles, heavy rocks, rotten fruit." She went on and on and on with a list of things that possibly wouldn't be very nice. "Seriously?" said Ellie. "That's what happens inside of my tummy when I get angry or frustrated?" Grandma Sophie said, "Well, not seriously, but kind of on one level it does. If you think about it, when you're angry and you're frustrated, or you're jealous of all the other baby elephants that can already do shooting stars, then it hurts you. It doesn't feel nice in your body. It feels ugly, like something ugly. And the best thing to do is let it go. Get it out of your body. Blow it out of your trunk. Imagine in your mind that you're blowing out your frustration, you're blowing out your anger, you're blowing out your sadness or your tears or your jealousy or whatever it is you feel, my dear." She said, "Blow it out." And once again she showed him. She stretched her trunk long and high and blew. "Try it," she said. "It feels great." Ellie gave it a try. "I can't do it like you. How come I can't do it like you?" she said. "Now, don't you get frustrated with that. Just take a breath and give it another try. Practice, practice, practice. Practice always makes something better, my dear," said Grandma Sophie. So Ellie practiced again. "That one was better," he said. "Yes, it was. Give it another try." This time, when Ellie tried to do it, he really focused on letting out all of the ugly things inside of his tummy, like the messy puddles or the snails. Oh, he didn't really like snails. Sometimes by accident, if he squished them when he stood on them, they felt really squishy underneath his toes, and he really didn't like that. And he didn't like squishing them. It always made him feel very sad. But his feet were so big and the snails were so small. Anyway, he thought about snails. He thought about he really didn't like rotten fruit. Grandma Sophie was right. He thought about that. And And then he thought, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to blow it all out of my tummy and make a big raspberry sound out of my trunk. I'm going to do it. I'm ready. I'm ready. It was the bestest raspberry ever. He jumped, he danced, he shook his little tail, he did all his happy moves. Grandma Sophie patted her 2 front feet together as if she was clapping. Hooray, hooray, you got it. I told you with practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice always makes things better, said Grandma Sophie. Now that you've let go of all of that frustration and all of that anger, you're your happy little self inside. And guess what? The secret to blowing out the bestest, brightest shooting stars anyone has ever seen is that you are happy. Because what you're doing is blowing out a big, giant star of happiness and wishes and dreams, everything good in the world. You have to focus really, 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 really hard on creating the happiest thoughts in your mind possible. That's the first step to blowing out a shooting star. The second step is to send it out with love, as if you're spreading the shooting star across the world so that all the little children laying in bed at night, if they happen to be looking out the window, could possibly see it. And when they see it, they feel the love, the happiness, and the magic, and the dreams, and all of the good stuff that you're putting inside of it. Are you ready to do that? Now that you've got rid of your frustration and your anger and your jealousy and you're all good and sweet inside and your tummy is full of everything good, like beautiful, ripe, sweet fruit, said Grandma Sophie. I think so, said Ellie. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to think about the sweetest fruit. Soft, juicy cantaloupes, and softest, sweetest strawberries, and bananas that are just ripe enough to eat and they're so sugary sweet. And he closed his eyes and his imagination started to get magical. He could taste the fruit. And then the love started to brew inside of his big elephant heart. And he took a deep breath. And he blew. His trunk stood up on end. And yes, you're right. The biggest, brightest, rainbow-colored shooting star flew out of Ellie's trunk. It was so bright. All the other elephants in the herd, all the other baby elephants, everyone stopped and looked up at the sky and just watched it fly. It flew really, really high in the sky. It seemed to fly for miles and miles and miles, and its big, bright rainbow lights just shone really, really wide and far all over the sky. It just kept going and going and going, and as it was flying higher and higher and higher, Ellie imagined all of the children it would reach. All of the children that could make a wish on it, that would see it and feel happy and magic and joy and love. Maybe they would even feel the need to eat sweet, juicy strawberries or watery, juicy watermelon or the sweetest, softest, perfect bananas in the world. Who knows? But his imagination and his hopes and his dreams and his love all were in that shooting star. And it was the best shooting star any of the elephants had seen. Everyone blew raspberries out of their trunks. It was like a serenade of clapping feet and raspberries. It was a very good moment for Ellie. And then he raised his 2 front feet as if in an array and shouted, "Ellie, the elephant, makes the bestest shooting star." And then he stopped. I said elephant. Grandma Sophie, I said elephant, not elephant. Elephant, fences, feathers, fish, flannels, floppy flip-flops. Oh my goodness! I can say F's. I am so grown up. Grandma Sophie gave him a big smile. That's my little Ellie. That's my little Elepant. Do you mind if I call you Elepant for the rest of your life? Because it's so cute. And Ellie said, "No, Grandma Sophie, but only you, okay?" And Grandma Sophie gave him a wink. And then they went and joined the rest of the herd. And for the rest of the evening, they blew out the biggest, brightest shooting stars all over the world, sending them out so that the children could make a wish on them whenever they saw them. Even the adults, they deserve to make wishes too, don't you think? The end. Now, time for bed, sleepyhead. Make sure that your head's comfy on your pillow and your eyes are closed. You're being still and quiet. And you're ready to let your body relax and go to sleep. You can even use your imagination and imagine that you're flying through the sky, just like a shooting star. Ellie's shooting star. You're floating up above the world, flying faster than the speed of light, traveling wherever you want to, in your dreams, all the different places, countries, towns, villages, even planets, stars, even the moon. You can go wherever you want, flying above the rest of the planet in your own little world. Very, very sleepy and relaxed. Now, how cool is this?